Hey there, everyone, and welcome to the 2025 video for Capricorn Rising. In this video, I'm going to take you through the major energies of 2025 in terms of all those outer planetary shifts. So you'll get a bit of an insight, a bit of a clue, a little bit of an idea of this strange energy that we have in 2025, where so many planets move into new signs and then they exit out of new signs. Before I get right into it, I would love to tell you that in November, next month of 2024, I'm hosting a 1 day workshop on the astrology of 25. It's going to be in person in Brisbane. So if you can get to Brisbane or you are already here in Brisbane, I'd love to see you. I'm going to pop a link to my website where you can get all the information about that, sign up for it, and I hope to see you there. So let me change the screen and I'll just take you through a quick overview of where all the planets are going for Capricorn rising in 2025. Well, firstly, I'm sure you are absolutely thrilled to learn that be sayonara Pluto in Capricorn. That actually happens late 2024, November 20, at least Australian date. I think it's 19th overseas. And so you can just see you later for the last however many years it's been. It's been a lot. And the next step is Pluto in Aquarius and that transformation of all things second house. You're also going to get a preview in 2025 about how your domestic life is going to shift and change. And that's thanks to Saturn moving into Aries and out again, and Neptune's going to move into Aries and out again. So you're going to get a sample, a taste, a preview of what the next 2.5 to 3 years of Saturn in Capricorn, sorry, Saturn in Aries looks like, and of course, what the 14-year cycle of Neptune in Aries looks like. Now, the next preview cycle is Uranus in Gemini. So that's a 7-year phase that will start again in 2025. And then, of course, you do have the lovely Jupiter in Cancer. That'll come through in June and last an entire year. So overall, there's so much to say. So you're going to get a preview of what life is going to look like for the next sort of 3 years as your ruling planet or patron planet Saturn moves into Aries and your fourth house of home and family. That's going to happen between May and September. Throughout your domestic life, your home, your family, your living situation. Overall, you're going to get a heads up, for want of a better term, on the kind of new responsibilities that might be coming through for you, including the responsibilities you might, wish to let go of. Also, the challenges that may come through for you as a part of these new responsibilities, solidifying new foundations. So this might mean that you need to lay some new ones. I'm just sort of talking overall right now and digging up the past in order to get a greater understanding of who you are and where you've come from. Overall, for everybody, 2025 is going to be a slow start, and that is because Mars is going to be retrograde in the sign of Leo. It's going to very quickly move into Cancer, which is your seventh house of relationships. But over the course of 2025, it's going to move over the top half of your chart. So it's going to move from Cancer and the seventh through to Sagittarius and your 12th. When these years happen, it's really quite exciting actually, because you can make quite a lot of progress in terms of your outer worldly achievements. You get to flex your muscles a little bit, seen for what you can do, and you can achieve a lot more success in terms of the outer worldly stuff. So your career, travel, friendships, all of those things that belong to the top half of the chart. You're also going to get an exit of a big cycle from 2025, and that happens in January when the South Node in Libra leaves. It leaves your 10th house of career, life direction, and that will give you there'll be some eclipses to come, but overall you're going to get a chance to wrap up some life direction and career things that have been quite prominent in 2024. As that happens, Mars will also, so that'll be an 18-month cycle, I should say, from January through into 2026. But then you'll also get the once in every 2-year visitation from Mars in August through to November. And that's a really great time to go for what you want in the professional sphere. So when it comes to progress, making waves, making moves, 2025 doesn't look too bad for you. When it comes to cash, money, abundance, and things like that, you're going to get a chance to really take control of finances in 2025. This is because now Pluto is settling in your second house and the sign of Aquarius, and not just this year, but for the next 20 years. So you're moving into quite a lengthy cycle right now. So while the second house of money does mean things like cash, your bank account, money, your ability to tap into abundance and resources and things, at a more deeper level, it also speaks to things to do with your self-esteem, confidence. From a Kabbalistic point of view, you're the vessel of which all of that abundance comes. And so after this past 15 years of Pluto transits in your first house, obviously you're not the same person as you were pre-Pluto in Capricorn. So you need to now to take all those lessons, all those things that you've learned, all the hardships, all the difficulty, all the pain, all of the Pluto stuff in your first house, and now transform that into a level of confidence, a level of certainty that is so, so unshakable. So you might need to take some of those lessons and turn them into a skill or a talent, of which and how you can manifest abundance from. So Pluto's going to also do some other stuff there. It's going to drill down on your sort of stubborn streak when it comes to money. Having Aquarius on the second house cusp, you could have a little bit of rigidity when it comes to how you deal with money and how you work with this. So much of 2025 and beyond is really about you learning to change your mind. And it would be really helpful for you actually if you haven't done so already, and even if you have, it's always a work in progress. But do something for yourself that can really, change and transform your ideas about cash, money, abundance. So if you go through life, oh, money is the root of all evil, and if we all just had universal basic income, we'd solve all our problems. You get what I'm saying, right? So if you have some resistance, if you have some self-sabotaging beliefs around you can't have everything that you want, then Pluto and Aquarius, let's take the high road before it even starts. You've had a little while now of practicing this. Now you're going to be asked to really do the work. Okay, it's going to make it easier for you. Now, in the other money house, the eighth house, decisions from late 2024, so November, December, are going to come back to the table in 2025 when Mars returns to Leo from April 18 through to June 17. So Mars will go through Leo and your eighth house for the first time in 2 years, albeit, yeah, you had that little bit of a transit late in 2024. This is going to encourage you to take charge, to show up with confidence, chase a missed opportunity from November, December. Mars is a planet of cutting and burning. The eighth house is about our debts, our mortgages, our loans. It's about many things, but just some of the stuff. This could be a really great opportunity for you to slash some expenses. And I'm not just talking about, lattes and avocado toast. I'm talking about better deals on maybe some of the bigger things. So that could be if different insurances that you purchase every year, maybe for a vehicle, maybe it's your home and contents, maybe it's your health insurance, whatever it may be. This is sort of your bigger annual bills. Can you really get a better deal on those sorts of things? That's what I like to do personally when Mars goes through my eighth house. I go in there, or hot and heavy, and try and get some dollars slashed off my annual bills. So you can save a lot of money doing that, and it also instills confidence in your ability to, tackle some of these things. So, get some better deals with that stuff. If you have a mortgage, just call your bank, ask them for a better interest rate. You'll be amazed. No one ever does it, but trust me, it's worth it. Now, also, too, the eighth house speaks to things to do with couple money, partnership money, and some of the white elephants in the room. So this could be fears, phobias, stuff that kind of holds you back from intimacy. Mars in Leo is just going to go for the jugular and make sure that you deal with some of those things. And of course, there's going to be that Mars-Pluto opposition by whole sign. So there's a lot of room where you can really make some changes in terms of resources, your own, other people's, and the entanglements that you share with other people, rather than feeling stuck, rigid, or helpless. Action begets confidence. So the more take a step forward in those directions, the better off you're going to be. Now, you're also going to have a Mercury retrograde phase in the eighth house, July and August. So this is a really opportune time to research those deals, to do your homework, look through, go through your spreadsheets, look through your bank statements, expect delays around those periods of time if you're trying to negotiate or get better deals or do some financial logistics, but patience will be on your side if you just continue to move forward. Now, you're also going to have a introduction to the 3-year restructuring process that's taking place in your fourth house, home, family, ancestry, living situations, all of those sort of things. 2025 is going to bring a preview to that between May 25, September 1. So in those middle months of the year, the home life is going to be very important. You may seek to establish more security, more stability in that area of life. So if you need to sort of grow roots, you feel this desire to grow roots, lay some foundations, you might start to feel the inklings of that mid-year. This might be part of the financial stuff to set yourself up so you can honor that. Now, you might decide to purchase a home. You really want to do that. You might, depending on your life stage and where you're situated, for some Capricorn risings, this is going to be a time where you might need to consolidate your home environment. So you might have grown-up children who've fled the coop. You might have, you might just want to downsize. You might want a smaller place. You might move from a house to an apartment. There's many ways, shapes, and forms that can take. For some Capricorns, this is going to be an increased responsibility in the home life. So that might be taking on older parents. That might be taking on a stepchild or, somebody else in your family. Now, there's a very big contrasting energy coming through there at the same time. So March 30 to October 22, the confusing influence of Neptune's going to come in. So while Saturn's trying to consolidate, stabilize, grow roots, accept challenges and responsibilities, Neptune, on the other hand, is just kind of going, yeah, I'll just go with the flow, whatever works. So this is going to be 2025 is going to be a year where there is going to be maybe a little bit of soul searching, a little bit of confusion around your domestic life and what you want out of it. Sorry, just caffeine. So that might be a period where you're trying to figure out what that is. So for the most part, I would suggest 2025 is about exploring your options, making sure you've got all the systems and structures set up so you do have the ability to chase that domestic dream, which is what Neptune in your fourth house is asking for. There may be an intangible quality as Neptune first dips its toes into the fire of your fourth house. So for some people, this might mean, imagine you're building a dream home, for instance, which might mean you have to have a temporary rental for 6 to 12 months while that happens. So it may be hard to define what you want in 2025. So these months between March and October, maybe it is a little bit go with the flow, feel your way. Is this a responsibility I want to take on? Is this something I really want to do? So really, I'd say 2026 is where that energy is really going to take a hold for you, and you're going to be able to really kind of lock in those domestic dreams and, do the things when it comes to your fourth house of home and family. Now, when it comes to relationships, there's a bit of a two-part phase this year. It starts off a little crispy, but it will get a lot better. So Mars in Cancer, we already have Mars in Cancer as I record this. So there's going to be a continuation of theme as the year begins, and until February 2024, Mars is going to be retrograde. Now, that's your crispy period when it comes to relationships. You might be continuing to deal with issues that first cropped up when Mars went into Cancer. I think, geez, when was that? September now. It feels like it's been there a long, yeah, it was, geez. There we go. So, yeah, that long journey of Mars in Cancer, you'll be getting into the crux of what that means. So you might find that while you're dealing with issues that have been cropping up since late last or this year, as I'm still recording this in October, new relationships that showed some promise at this point may hit a snag in the first couple of months of 2025. The whole idea here with Mars in Cancer is, how do you actually feel? Okay. Rather than react and then place judgment, what you'll need to do, I think, is turn that energy within, look at yourself and go, what does my soul need right now? Like, what am I truly asking for when I'm casting blame, when I'm reacting, when I'm dissatisfied, or I'm looking elsewhere, or whatever the case may be? So whatever's going on for you in relationships now, I would imagine they're not pretty, whether you're single or you're partnered. And really what Mars is asking, it's asking you to really tap in to the desire. What do I feel? What does my soul need, as opposed to the emotional reaction? So once Mars ends its retrograde, January 24, you'll have until April 18 to show up with more confidence in relationships, be more direct, be more assertive, be more clear about how you feel. What I think the beauty of this cycle is for Capricorn risings is, I don't want to go too much on a tangent here, but showing up with commitment. So no matter what happens, Mars in Cancer, someone's being, the proverbial pain in the butt to you. There's problems, there's emotional drama, someone's being really reactive to you, things just feel horrible. Rather than reacting to the stuff, it's, I'm in this, I'm committed, I made a choice, we see it through. Okay, that's Capricorn at its best. And of course, Mars is going to test that. Now, when Mars is direct from end of February through to April, that's when that intimacy can come back. That's when the passion can come back. That's when that right level of fire between you can come back. So if you can show up with commitment, you can get through whatever storm may come through the relationship. And sometimes things do have to get worse before they get better. That is sort of almost universal law. Now, things will get better if you can approach the storm in a, with the greater picture in mind, because the greater picture of Jupiter in Cancer is going to arrive from June 10 and last in your seventh house for a whole year. So this is where the dial gets turned up to 11. Things can get really, really good for you. That exploration and expansion of the emotional landscape of relationships, the compassion in relationships, particularly when you've got that Neptune square coming through. What is the meaning and purpose of relationships? You're going to be exploring all of those sort of things. A lot of people get into relationships because there's some maybe need that they've even yet to fully identify and understand. But then once they're in the relationship, things get all kind of crazy and confusing. So, Jupiter is your time to really explore what is the purpose of this union, of why we're together. Or if you're single, what is the purpose of my desire? What do I want? And that sort of perspective opening shift can be really possible for you. Now, if things have really got that bad, Jupiter isn't necessarily going to make things all, peachy keen and rosy. Oftentimes, when Jupiter goes through your seventh house, it can actually make things worse. If that relationship has hit the end of the road, Jupiter's only going to expand upon the problems. It's going to make those problems bigger. And sometimes the best thing for the soul is to end that relationship. So then you can, find the one that is more aligned with you. So if you are in a rocky patch, just because Jupiter's going to arrive doesn't necessarily mean it's all going to be sunshine and roses. Now, when it comes to joy, happiness, fun, creativity, all the fun stuff in life, Uranus has been there for a really long time, since 2018. And so that area of life known as the fifth house has been in flux. There's been change, there's been instability. This may have shown up through the romantic life, so mating, dating, relating, all those kind of things. This could have shown up in the landscape of children in your life, pleasure pursuits, your creative outlets, all those sort of things. One of my favorite ways to describe the fifth house is, what do you do with yourself when the bills are paid and the jobs are done? What do you do for fun? As adults, that's such a hard question to answer. But you're going to get a little bit of a break from that turbulent energy that's been in place since 2018. So when you get a reprieve from that, you can actually really return to desires. The energy will settle down. You have Taurus on the fifth house cusp. So you like everything the way it's always been, right? Change is not your go-to when it comes to those sort of things. You might prefer to go to the same restaurants, go to see the same concerts, go to see do the same things. Now, you may have discovered, whether you're aware of this yet or not, that through Uranus's transit, you're actually like things that you never thought you would. And you might also discover that the things you used to enjoy, you don't so much anymore. So 2025 may bring a last ditch attempt to really bring a creative project off the ground. Maybe there's things you've yet to experience, things you've yet to do, things that you want to do that you decide there's a now or never quality to it. This may be children. This may be getting out there in the dating world. This may be I've always wanted to take that class or learn how to paint or play that instrument. Whatever it is that the fifth house means for you, when Uranus temporarily exits from July to November, you're going to get these urges. Oh, I need to do this thing. I really want to do this thing. It's going to encourage you to show up more authentically in a creative way, in a romantic way. If you're a parent, maybe showing up more authentically with your children. This might mean making some conscious choices about the way you parent them, as opposed to the way that you may have been parented. You may also discover, as I said, you don't enjoy anymore what you once did, and that's how the change comes through. So as Uranus takes this temporary break from your fifth house, it's going to go into your sixth. This, I think, is going to bring a very frazzled energy. What we would say in Australia is Jats crackered. There's these biscuits that we hear, Jats crackers. If you're an Aussie, you'll know. And so the energy can get really dialed up, where there can be a lot of activity, little achievement. You're already feeling this already with Jupiter in Gemini. So Jupiter's putting a lot of things on your plate. It's making you very busy, but are you achieving your key outcomes? That's the difference between activity and achievement, right? So this could be about, work, labor, the thankless tasks in life that still have to be done, but little reward or recognition. The problems that you have to solve, having to go above and beyond, that bigness of Jupiter there. Now, when Uranus comes in, that's just going to get dialed up, and you may feel that it's all too much. It's hard for you to be that wind-up soldier with this frantic Uranian energy there. So you might have to take some initiative, and really be honest with yourself. This is Uranus, it's the authenticity piece. Can you still keep on going at the pace that you have been going? You don't have to be a workhorse all of the time, right? Maybe you need to get really honest with yourself about the tasks, the obligations that you may need to delegate, ditch, or delete. There may also be some health indicators too. So if you have been burning the candles at both ends with Jupiter, Uranus could potentially be like that finger in the socket, and then you have to realize, well, I need to change my ways. So now that you've got the heads up on that, because we've got a while before Uranus gets there, if your day-to-day life is just next level crazy, maybe dial it back a bit. Maybe try and seek some balance between the work that you do, and the self-care, the health and wellness. Yes, the six is the house of sickness, but when Jupiter goes in there, it's trying to find a solution to that. And that might be, okay, well, instead of working 12, 13, 14-hour days, I cut it back to 10. Instead of fueling myself on caffeine and alcohol, sugar, maybe I'll try and eat some more veggies. These sorts of things. Maybe it's about delegating things. Can I get someone to clean my house for me? As opposed to at the end of the day, oh God, I have to do that too. The sixth house are these annoying problems to solve. I even said to my son once, even Elon Musk being one of the richest men in the world, he still has to brush his teeth every day. And he's like, what? He has to do that? So there's things that we can't avoid, obviously, but the Uranus transit is going to invite you to be more authentic and ask yourself, obviously you need to brush your teeth, but do I really need to do this? So that's your overview for 2025. There's a lot on the top, but most of the big shifts are happening down the bottom. So get the foundations right, get the confidence right, get the priorities right, and you'll be moving in the right direction. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, leave me a comment, like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. and I'll see you in the next video.